Welcome back to Chiefs Studios. My name is Taylor Bell, and we are joined here with Coop. How are you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm all right, man. How are
Awesome.
you?
How's the weather? How's the weather out there? You're in Northern California, right?
Yep, around Oakland areas. It's a little cold
Is it?
here, man.
Is
But
it?
cold to us is like 50 degrees here in California, so we're
Yeah.
freezing.
Yeah. Well, that's like us down here in South Texas too, right? Because it's so hot. I think we had it was something insane. It was like 100 days straight of over 100-degree weather, right? So like anything dips down in the 60s or 50s, we're like, "Ugh," freezing. But I've been it's raining here. It's been overcast. It's cold. It's rainy. I've been trying to do this camera test for this new Pixel, and the cloudy skies are just not doing me any favors. But let's get into some football. Now, we Chiefs fans, we will get into the upcoming game against the Patriots here. But speaking of football, Coop, did you watch any of the game last night between the LA Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders?
What I watched last night was not a football game. It was a massacre.
It was a
it,
massacre.
it was a slaughter. Like, I can't believe they
Man.
let them do them like that.
So I had planned on tuning in like around halftime or something, right? Because I'm always busy, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna catch the second half, and then I'll watch the replay, that night or this morning, right? So I check in at halftime, and it was like I had to refresh my feed. I had to pull down the menu to refresh it because I was like, no way. It was what, 35, or was it 35 or 42 to nothing, or to 7, something like that. And I was like, holy shit. So I watched a little bit, but I caught the replay this morning. And quite honestly, the Chargers got blown out, right? Now, both teams were playing with backup quarterbacks. So I'm not sure it was a heavy viewership tuned in to that game, especially like me. You check the score, right? And you see it and you're like, well, shit, the game's over. But actually, the quarterback for the Raiders played pretty good. There's been a lot of backup quarterbacks playing this year due to injury, and I've been really surprised. There's been some backup quarterbacks that have really played well this year. The Bengals, I'm actually anticipating watching the Bengals this weekend because of their backup quarterback. He's had 2 phenomenal games in a row. So I'm like, well, holy shit! Like it was Joe Burrow stats, or even better, honestly.
Right.
So I was like, well, damn. So let me get into the box score and look at the who all scored touchdowns, because there were touchdowns all over the field last night at least for the Raiders. Let's see here. Share with no sound. Let's get into the Raiders. They are a divisional opponent, and actually the Chiefs play the Raiders next week. So 63-21. Yeah, it was 42-0 at halftime. And the Raiders scored the 3rd most points in NFL history last night, which came out of nowhere. I don't think anybody was even expecting them to score like half of that.
Yeah.
Now the Chargers are, their spirits are down a little bit because this past week, it was announced Justin Herbert's going to miss the rest of the season due to a ligament in his finger, I believe, was torn. But let's look at this box score real quick, because it is really amazing to see all this.
Mm-hmm.
So Aiden O'Connell, quarterback for the Raiders, he will be the starting quarterback for the Raiders when they play Kansas City next week. Was 20 of 34, 248 yards, 4 TDs. Now, Look at the quarterback for the Chargers. Easton Stick. Never heard of this guy. 23 of 32, 257, 3 TDs, 1 INT. Now,
he still had a good
watch.
game.
Yeah, if you really didn't look at the score and you just looked at the box stats, it doesn't look like it was that big of a difference. But obviously, you look up at the score and you're like, "Holy shit!" But actually, the ball was being moved on either side of the ball, just on either side of the field. Both teams were moving the ball. Let's check the Raiders real quick. Damn, so they put in a backup quarterback. I didn't even see that on the replay, and he threw a touchdown. Damn. So Brandon Bolden gets a TD rush. Zamir White gets a TD rush. Devontae Adams gets a TD. Trey Tucker, 2 receiving touchdowns. Michael Mayer, 1 receiving touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 1 receiving touchdown. There was a pick 6 too, I remember. Or was it? Yeah, Jack Jones. Wow. That's a box score filler. Now, what else we got here? Yeah, so, I mean, look, it was... I don't know. I'm sure their viewership on that game was not as... But see, that goes back to I remember last week we were talking about the Amazon and what's his name who got kicked from the Al Michaels, right?
Right.
We were saying how shitty the Amazon games have been. Now, I guess depending on how you want to look at it last night, it was exciting. There was a ton of scoring, but the potential, for LA to win the game or, was just out of hand. But I mean, I guess Amazon does get stuck with these shitty games. But I mean, look, I guess last night, that's the wrong way to describe last night. It wasn't a shitty game because there was almost damn near 100 points scored. So it was just a blowout, but fun to watch nonetheless. So, how are your Ravens doing before we get into the Chiefs?
Oh man, we've been having some good showings, man, and I'm excited to see us play the Niners on Christmas Day. I think that'll be a great game. It'll give me a measuring stick also. So hopefully,
right,
we have a good showing.
So y'all play the Jags in Jacksonville on Sunday night. This upcoming Sunday. Yeah, and then Christmas, there's a freaking awesome game against the 49ers. Damn, I can't wait to watch that. Now, that would be Monday night as well. So I'm assuming, Christmas is on a Monday. Okay. Yeah, that'll be cool. We got games actually tomorrow. I totally forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, it's the start of the Saturday games, right?
Yes, yeah. For the rest of the year, I think there's, 3 or 4 weeks left. And, yeah, they'll have Saturday games all throughout the rest of the season, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then going into the playoffs, right? Because you have wild card and stuff like that. So tomorrow's games, you got the Vikings at the Bengals. We'll keep an eye on the Bengals backup QB. He's been playing really good. And then tomorrow at 3:30 Central Standard Time, you got the Steelers at the Colts. And then tomorrow night, you have the Broncos and the Lions. So I guess out of those 3 games, I might try and live stream a play-by-play call on one of these. I can't do more than one. That's for sure. But I'll put out a community post for everybody and let y'all know on what we decide. And I'll send you the link to Coop. And if you want to join in for 30 minutes, I can actually send you the link on the back so you can actually watch the game and then we can call it or talk about it while it's being played to the viewers. So it's a pretty cool way to do it.
Okay.
What else we got for Sunday? Chiefs game. Chiefs Patriots. Now, I'm hoping the Chiefs put up a good performance, but here's the catch. Oh shit, we didn't talk about Staley. So the blowout was so bad last night
Mm.
that the Los Angeles Chargers fired not only their head coach, but their GM. So they're apparently going to clean shop with the front office. It was a long time coming. He was on the hot, or probably the hottest seat of the whole NFL. But who do you think they would go after as far as to be a good candidate
Hey,
for the Chargers?
I seen a post last night during the game, and the person said the Chiefs should fire their head coach at halftime so that he can stay in Vegas and just finish the rest of the week out in Vegas because he, he's got nothing going after this game. He's for sure getting fired. Um,
Man, I didn't
um,
think he would make it to that. I thought they were gonna fire him. I mean, I basically thought the same thing. I mean, not the whole Vegas thing, but I was like, shit, they may fire him on the plane ride home.
I was
But
definitely surprised that the Patriots are moving on from Belichick also, right?
yeah, no, that's not official, right? Is it basically rumors, or it's kind of been put out there, or
I
what? It's
think
going to
it's
be
been put out
mutual.
there. I thought it was had been put out there. Like, let me do some more research before
You
I put
know,
that out in the universe.
yeah, I've heard something similar, but obviously we're not league insiders. But look, if the league insiders are talking about that, then it looks
Yeah.
like it might be amicable split, basically, because, well, who knows? I don't know how. I'm sure Belichick's unhappy with the way the season's going. With the Patriots, they're what, 3-10. Their offense sucks, and I think the Kraft family, who owns the Patriots, are ready to move on.
Right.
Um, now
And the
here's
Steelers might be moving on from Mike Tomlin also.
Now, I think that's crazy. I think that's, if they didn't have Tomlin as a coach, I can almost guarantee you, I'm very confident in saying they would have probably 2 or 3 less wins than they have right now if they
With that
had
horrible
any other
roster for
coach.
sure.
Correct. If anything, they need to get rid of the GM, right? Like, that's Tomlin didn't pick the players in Pittsburgh. That's the GM. Yeah, well, it'll be their loss, because I guarantee you, the minute they give him his papers, his agent, in 1 second, pick up the phone, and there'll be teams, lining up to hire him. I would love to have him as a coach. Now, here's an interesting. Did you find anything out about Belichick or no?
It said that they were talking about the rumors or whatever. It's just a rumor at this point. And Bill
They're getting
Belichick
pretty
said that
strong though.
I hadn't heard anything about it. So I'm just getting ready for Kansas City.
Oh shit. Well, it looks like, because there were rumors last year, and because they were bad, but they weren't this bad. I mean, this is
Yeah.
almost embarrassing. Well, it is embarrassing.
Yes.
But here's the interesting thing. I was listening to Nick Wright. You can see him on Fox Sports TV, and he was saying, he broke down. He went through all the NFL teams, right? Like, so if Belichick leaves New England,
Mhm.
where's the most likely spot for him to land, right? Assuming he doesn't want to take a year off and, just chill out, which very well could be on the table. And not a bad idea. The dude's what, 70 something, and he's been coaching every year for 30, 40 years, right? He was saying Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, wouldn't that be ironic? Because that's where Tom Brady went, right?
Right.
After New England. But it honestly makes sense, right? Because he broke down everything. Every teams that are having good records, that are probably keeping their coaches, he touched on just for a second. Like Kansas City said they're not firing, right? But he went through Buffalo, which would not hire him because they're in the same division. It's like an arch enemy. No, wait, he's still under contract. But I wonder, it'll be interesting to see what happens, right? Will he get fired? Will he get traded? Because I know that scenario's come up too. Because Sean Payton got traded from New Orleans to Denver.
Right.
It's rare, but it does happen. So we'll have to see. Look, if he's a free agent, or for not free agent, if he gets fired and he's willing to pick anywhere, I agree. Tampa Bay, if you break down every scenario and can also consider arch rivals. Now, I know he did go. Well, he's got history with the AFC, but it's interesting to listen. I don't think the Chargers will hire him. The Chargers have a notoriously cheap ownership group, and they are, ironically, the, I guess, quote unquote, poorest NFL franchise owners. They did not make their money in any other business outside of football, right? It's kind of like an Al Davis type of thing, where they didn't build up like FedEx or Walmart and then, have billions and billions of dollars and then buy a team. No, this team has been in their family for like forever, basically. So now they do get good money coming in, revenue from the NFL, but they're not, willing to do whatever it takes and hire and fire and pay willy-nilly like a lot of these teams are. But I think they're going to go cheap. I think they're probably. Oh wait, don't they have not Kellen Winslow, Kellen Moore, right? Their offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
They'll probably obviously put him in, right, as interim head coach. They might give it to him because it'll be his first time head coach, so he's going to be cheap. He's an offensive-minded head coach or offensive-minded coach. I could see them just sticking him in there. They're very cheap, actually. I heard that they actually had to borrow money to put Justin Herbert's signing bonus in escrow. Like, they just don't have money like the Cowboys do, or anybody else that has a big, like the Denver Broncos, the Walmart family. So I think they'll go cheap and hire Staley. But little scenarios like that is what trickles down to Belichick landing in Tampa Bay. Not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying just keep an eye on that scenario if he does get fired. What do you think? I mean, I know we haven't gone down each roster and team, but where could you see him coaching next?
Belichick?
Yeah.
The retirement home.
Yeah.
I think
seriously,
the Patriots was like the ideal situation for him. He had so much leeway. And, they had down years, bad years. He couldn't get it done with Drew Bledsoe, right? Did he get it done with Drew Bledsoe before Brady?
They were having, I think, the year that they won their first, they were on their way. And then I think he got knocked out, and then that's what brought Brady in to finish the year in the Super Bowl win. So he did have some success winning-wise, a winning percentage with, what's his name?
Bledsoe.
Yeah, Bledsoe. But it was short-lived. That's the thing is, if he gets another head coach, he's so defensive-minded that it's going to be imperative for him for two things. One thing, gotta have a good offensive coordinator, right, to worry about that side of the ball. And then number two is he cannot be the de facto GM and pick players. He is horrible at drafting. Horrible.
Yeah.
And he's in charge of everything there in New England, and I think that's kind of why it's going south, honestly. Because the offense is not. Look at their draft pick, the quarterback. He sucks. They've already benched him, Mac Jones, right? And Bill O'Brien, he keeps on recycling these old past coaches that have worked for him as the offensive coordinator. There's a new offensive coordinator every year. So it's not looking good for so if I was a team, I would say, look, we'd love to have you, but our GM is going to pick the players and you coach, and then you're going to have to get some kind of offensive coordinator. I definitely don't want Bill O'Brien or any of the past offensive coordinators that he's had, because they just look bad, really,
Right.
really, really bad. But that's what I was worried about this Kansas City game. Offensively, they look bad. Defensively, they're still pretty good. So this should be an ugly game, this Kansas City New England game, because I don't know what offense we're going to see from Kansas City. It's so inconsistent. It's sputtery. These wide receivers are boneheads. They drop the balls all the time. They line up off sides all the time. I just don't know what we're going to see. I think it's going to be an ugly game, low scoring. Both defenses are really good. Now, Kansas City could make this a blowout if they get their shit together on the offensive end. But New England's not going to score many points. So Kansas City should get this win just by scoring 19 points. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, let's see here. Yeah. So we got the game in last night. We reviewed games for tomorrow. We should stream at some point tomorrow. I got the Kansas City game in. Let me see if there's any injuries before we wrap this up. Let's see. Injury report. What day is it? Friday? Yeah, there should be a new injury report. Let's see. News.
You know, I'd like to see Tomlin take over the Chargers. I think that would be good.
Yeah, I think that would. Yeah, you know what? If he gets fined, if they let go of him, where would you like to see him?
Chargers, maybe Chargers.
Chargers?
Yeah, or
now, remember, New England's going to be open too if they get rid of.
New England would be great.
But if you're a head coach, wouldn't you, and especially a well-respected one like Tomlin, wouldn't you want to go to a team that has a quarterback though? Because if you don't have a quarterback, you're just not winning.
Yeah, some good bones, man.
Right.
That's Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert, obviously. New England does not. What are some other coaches in the hot
They're
seat?
not going to be able to break the bank.
Right. That's true. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I might dig into that these next few days, go through the coaching carousel, and on our next episode, maybe we can really dig into it and kind of see what makes sense for each coach. I'll do homework on that for our next episode. We can jump into that. So we got Isaiah Pacheco, shoulder, did not practice. Damn, he's out of the game. So the Chiefs are down their number one running back. Offensive line, Donovan Smith is out. Neck. Mike Edwards, safety, illness, did not play. Friday, full participation. Nick Bolton, he'll play. Justin Reed, he'll play. McKinnon, he's got to play. Sneed. Okay. So Justin oh, that's not good. Another wide receiver down. Oh, he's on suspension. My bad. I forgot. He's been suspended anyways. So it looks like the two big players that are going to be out is your number one running back and offensive lineman. So not good. I guess could be worse, but let's see who's out for the Patriots. Ramondre Stevenson. Everybody's questionable. God, look at how long their injury list is. But he's got everybody questionable. Wow. Well, there's your injury report. Alrighty, sir. Is there any other news you want to hit on real quick?
No, man, that was all for this week. We got those great games starting tomorrow. That was pretty much all I had.
Cool. And for everybody listening, please go down into the description box below the video. It'll say more, touch more. It'll open up the description box. I'm going to link Coop's Instagram and YouTube channel in the box below, and you can check out all of his cool content. and we will be back shortly tomorrow. Nothing set in stone. I'm gonna try to do a play-by-play call live stream of one of these games, and but we'll definitely be back here in the next couple of days for a another stream to follow up with these games. So appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we will see you shortly. Peace out. Okay, I'll cut it right there.